they come in. We do have an exceptional return rate. 60% of our
Wow.
guests are returning guests, which is unheard of.
Welcome back to the VRNation Station Podcast, folks. I am your host, JB Hansen. If you've been with us before, thank you so much for returning. If this is your first time, we hope you find it very informative. If you have questions, concerns, please feel free to fire it into the comments on whatever platform you're looking at. It could be YouTube, could be Spotify, could be Apple Podcasts, whichever. We will get back to you as soon as possible. If you'd like to be on the podcast, again, please let us know. Otherwise, like, subscribe, comment, view, anything is appreciated. Today is going to be a cool day because I'm actually really excited. I have Lisa Riniker with me, and she's already smiling, which is good, right? Fellow Wisconsinite. So you guys are in for a whole lot of Wisconsin banter, I'm assuming. But yeah, so I'm going to read a little bit about Lisa because I think it's actually interesting. I'll never remember it all. So Lisa, you are the Director of Operations at Moving Mountains, and you got your degree, your college degree from UW La Crosse, which is, I'm an Eau Claire guy. So we already talked about that, La Crosse, Eau Claire, UW schools. So Lisa is one of the top operations managers in the country. And the reason is because Moving Mountains and how it grew is because it is specifically a luxury property management company. And that the luxury aspect, I always thought like, oh, we're luxury. But when I hear Lisa talk about this, luxury takes on a whole different level. So Lisa, thank you very much for joining us. I probably butchered your intro, but please tell us a little bit about what you do and who you work for.
Sounds great. Well, thank you, Jamie, for having me. Appreciate that. I am Lisa Riniker. I'm Moving Mountains, Director of Operations. We work out of Steamboat, Breckenridge, and Vail Beaver Creek are our 4 different locations where we have properties. We have roughly 200 rentals that we manage for our owners. And probably the most important part of all of this is just the relationship business that we have with our owners, our guests, and our staff. And I think that's what sets us apart, especially with our luxury homes. They're very high-end homes in beautiful mountain communities. And our mission statement is we create memorable vacations and exceptional homes. And we stand and we live by that every day.
You know, you take everything to the nth degree. I think it's really, really interesting. And one of the things I just wanted to maybe start with is just simply, you know, you got a guest coming in, like talk a little bit about that. Because when I look at your website, the website looks, I mean, it's beautiful. It's easy to use. It's simple. I won't talk about the dollar signs, but I'm just like, when I see the dollar signs, but when I hear about what you guys do, it all makes sense. And the properties are just incredible. So let's maybe start there. So talk about when a guest books, like what are the steps you go through?
Sure. Well, our marketing department is exceptional. With the photography that we do, we spend a lot of time and effort on photographing the houses, making sure that they are a true representation when they come in. We do have an exceptional return rate. 60% of our
Wow.
guests are returning guests, which is unheard of. So
That is.
kudos to our guest services team. They reach out to every guest after the stay, about a week after they get home, and they check in, see how their stay was. And we quite often are successful at booking their next year's reservation and vacation with us right at that point in time. So, and then once a guest actually makes a reservation, whether they do it through a third party or directly with us, within the first 3 to 4 days, our guest services team will reach out to them. And our guest services team is like a concierge team. They'll reach out and say, how can we make your vacation be the best possible? Let me help you. Let me take you through every single step that you might need, from your transportation from the airport to, do you need lift tickets? Do you need ski lessons? Do you need your groceries delivered before you arrive? That's been a big service that a lot of our guests have been signing up for, which, how nice is that, right? You go on vacation with your family, you're busy, you're traveling, you show up and all your food is there and waiting for you when you arrive. So that's been a really big, nice addition to the services that we provide in all 3 of the
Interesting.
locations.
Is that an employee that does that, or do you go through a third-party service to do that?
It depends on which market. Third party in Breckenridge, and we do have our own internal grocery shoppers in Steamboat and in Vail Beaver Creek. I think it's third party in Vail Beaver Creek as well too.
Gotcha.
We haven't used it as much there as we have Steamboat and Breckenridge. We use it a lot.
So you guys actually are doing an outreach. You're talking to these guests, and literally you are helping them vacation plan. I mean, that almost sounds like borderline travel agentish. Where are the leads coming in? Like, where are your guests? Are they coming in through VRBO, Airbnb? Like, where are you getting your leads from?
A lot of them are just true return guests. Like I said, 60% is amazing. And then it is through party VRBO, Airbnb, Marriott. I'm sorry, I cannot remember their names. We might have to cut that. So let me think about that. It's something luxury. I can't remember. So we'll have to cut that. I don't remember. But it is third parties. We don't get many. I wish I would have known the answer to that because we have really great numbers in the sense of who we use.
To me, I just don't see Airbnb guests paying that amount.
Yeah, it's more
Just
the luxury
given
one.
my own personal experience
Yep,
with them.
it is.
But I figured you were like maybe 100 collection or something like that. That might be too. So we were talking about grocery delivery. What are some other concierge services that you guys have? A grocery delivery you talked about. Um, skis. I mean, do you guys use ski butler? I'm assuming. I mean, what are some of the other things that really drive that luxury experience? And then how much do you guys take on accountability for that?
All the way, 100%. We will make it work. We pretty much saying no is not an option for us. We are such a creative team with our operations teams. If something comes up or a guest asks for something, we will try our hardest to make it work for them. And every once in a while, if you're working with a third party or just things pop up during a vacation, the unexpected, that's where our team really excels. They just improvise, they make it happen, they figure out a way. Sometimes our staff have to step in. We'll have a third party scheduled to, let's say, be a guide on a hike, and something happens and they don't show up. One of our staff goes and grabs a shuttle, picks them up, and is their guide on that hike for that day. So we'll make it happen no matter what, within reason with whatever we can do. If we can make it work, we will make it work.
Nice,
So
nice,
it's,
interesting.
the hardest part is when somebody's travel day starts off wrong, right? You know that their flight was delayed or their luggage was lost. We try to do whatever we can to make it as easy for them and as smooth for them once they arrive, and that all the expectations are set before they even show up. That they know what they're going to expect when they stay with us. So we hope that there's no surprises, that everything is already very clear before they even show up.
Sure. And that's for every property that you guys have in your portfolio.
It is.
Wow. Okay. So
It's amazing.
interestingly, when we talked previously, you had made a comment that when a guest shows up, that you guys do a walkthrough with the guest. Is
We
that
do.
with every return?
We do. We really try to hit every single arrival that comes in. And some of our homes are much more complicated than others, just technology wise, and some of these new, big, beautiful mountain homes. There's a lot to learn between just technology and safety. Those are probably our two biggest things that we cover in a walkthrough. So our team will show up. We'll have a nice little gift bag that we have for the guest, and it's got chocolates and wine and trail mix and a reusable grocery bag for when they go to town. And then we usually have like little stuffed animals for the kids, and we know that there's going to be kids there. So they come and then they just literally walk through the house and they talk about the house and the key features. And what we find is that's a very proactive stance because let's just say they don't know how to work the TV or they don't know how to work the Sonos system, or a lot of these new houses have a TV that'll slide out from the wall or slide out from a cabinet. And so our team is there to show them all of these things in addition to where is the fire extinguisher? Sure. Where is the address for the home in case you have an emergency? So you know where you're staying, where you can quickly find the address, where the shutoff is for the hot tub, how to just open the hot tub. We actually literally step them through. This is how you open your hot tub. So we try to go through things, really honestly save the guests from calling us or getting frustrated during their stay if they've already been kind of taught the challenges of things or the nuances of that house, maybe. Some of these houses are huge.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, it's impressive. Like I was on the gondola at Steamboat, and it was so funny because I was on the gondola, and I remember looking down because there were people on the deck of, and it was one of your properties. It's right off the gondola, and I was just
Yeah,
thinking to myself, like, my God, it's just an incredible house. And yeah, it ended up being one of yours. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's
it is.
absolutely
Yeah. And a lot of our houses, people bring their families, they bring groups. So it's grandma and grandpa with the two kids and then, or three kids and then their families or reunions. So that's the beauty of having a nice blend of homes in our portfolios. We have big ones all the way down to 2-bedroom, really high
Got-
luxury homes.
How
Yeah.
many properties do you have in your portfolio?
Right under 200 right now in between
Okay.
the 4 markets.
Between the
Yeah.
four markets. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
All
we
right.
are expanding weekly. I think we
Really?
have probably about 15 in that we're onboarding as we speak. Maybe not quite that many, 12
Wow.
to 15. So
Well,
yeah,
good for
it's
you.
great.
I wish I was in that boat. I wish I was in that boat. Unfortunately, we're not.
Loving it.
So talk to me a little bit about, NPS scores, right? So when we talk about surveys, I find it interesting. Surveys always could go two very different ways. I'm interested to hear more about, like, first of all, why you're doing the surveys, and then with the input coming back in, like, how are you implementing change?
Sure. Our NPS score is our pride and joy, I would say. Very first and foremost, one of the things we do, we send it to every guest, even if we know they are very upset about something. The staff will come to me and be like, do we really have to send them a survey? And it's like, yes, we do. So I have to say that I can look you in the eye and 100% say that every single person that has stayed with us has received a survey, even though we know we might get a 0 on some of them or get some really blunt, honest feedback. We welcome all feedback on our surveys. That's how we get better, and
And just
some
so
of
just so our audience knows, because I just looked this up. I'm not gonna lie. NPS, Net Promoter Score.
yes,
So you're the first
sorry.
person I've actually found that uses the Net Promoter Score. I think it's interesting. So you do it no matter what. These are any guests coming in, and you go and you push that out. Is it an email survey, or is it a
It is.
phone call, or
Yep,
what is it?
it is. It is. And the Net Promoter Score is based on the question of how likely are you to recommend moving mountains to your family and friends? That's the question. And that's the question that our Net Promoter Score is based off of. And there's a formula that's used to calculate it. If somebody, once in a while, you can't please everybody, right? It's going to happen. Mistakes are inevitable. One of our core values. It is going to happen, even though we try really hard, but we get such great feedback, good and bad, on these surveys that we find all of it priceless. No matter what somebody says to us, there's always a learning takeaway that happens with every single survey that comes back. And we really appreciate it. Some people will write paragraphs, some people be really short and sweet with what they tell us. But if they've taken the time to give us a comment, it's meaningful. It means that it stood out to them during their stay. And it could be as simple as, and honestly, like we get feedbacks on our mattresses. Well, we don't know. We don't sleep there. We don't stay there. So there is a time and a point where your mattress does need to be replaced. And so when we get feedback from somebody saying, hey, maybe you should check the mattress, or the ones, of course, we love are how great our amenities are, how great our kitchen inventories are, how great our linens are, because that's all part of our luxury program that we provide in all of our homes. So we obviously love the good ones, but we welcome the corrective ones. And then what we do is we take that information. It comes to me. I disperse it out to all of our leadership team. And then depending on which market or which house got the feedback, that team runs with the feedback. And they'll either make the corrections or their team will go check on what was brought up to make sure that it's corrected. The very worst thing we can do is have 2 guests in a row tell us the same thing about a
Feedback.
home if it's something corrective. So it's an opportunity for us to get better
Got it.
with every single survey.
And when do you send that survey out? Is it the day they check out, or is it 2 days after, or what is
I
your
believe it's 3
turnaround?
days after departure is when
3
it
days
goes to
after
them.
departure. Okay.
Yep.
And that
Also,
follows the Airbnb, VRBO, because they're getting pounded with emails saying, "How did we do?" Is that previous to those getting sent out or post?
I'm sorry, could you say it one more time? I missed
So
it.
Airbnb and VRBO, like, they also send out in review, like,
Yep.
the reviews, right? The
Yep.
request. Is it previous to when they send theirs out, or is it after when they send?
I don't know exactly when they send theirs, to tell you the truth. I just know ours goes 3 days after. But
Okay.
so few of our guests, honestly, are Airbnb or VRBO guests. Most of ours do not come through that third
Gotcha.
party avenue.
Gotcha. No, that's great. That's great. So that's really interesting. Now there's I'm going to go a little off script because you talked about inventory and you talked about the linen programs. This is something that I keyed in on in our first conversation, and I think that it really helps people understand luxury is not a word, right? It's not I mean, it's not just a word. You can't just slap luxury on because there's expectations that get thrown in front of it.
Totally.
Tell me about luxury. Tell me about the extent when it comes to, like you had said, your linens, your setups, your walkthroughs, like all of these things, like what is like you are the farthest, right, of this scale, right? Like you guys are luxury. You're like the 9 or the 10 out of 10. So what does that even mean? Maybe go down and break it down for me in a simple fashion.
Sure. Well, just our high touch, first of all. Obviously, when we have guest services reaching out to someone who makes a reservation within a couple days after that reservation, right there's where that initial partnership or high touch starts with that. And then we stuff them through the whole stay. Then we hand it off when the guest shows up. Then that gets handed off from our guest services team, who's been working with them before arrival, to our front desk team. Then the front desk team takes it, owns it, does the walkthrough, follows up with them the next day. How was your first night? Do you need anything? How can we help? During the walkthrough, they say, please reach out to us at any point in time. We have managers on duty all night. So we're available day and night if you need us for anything. Then after the stay, we reach back out to them and say, hey, how was it? And hopefully during their stay when they're there, they can experience all the things that we put in the house. So our kitchen inventories, super important for us. We do it in all of our homes. We have our standards. So we have certain dishes, pots and pans, the wine glasses. And we source all of ours, or the bulk of ours, through Inhaven with Ashley Ching and through Inhaven. Love how easy that process is right now becoming for our staff and our quality assurance team to basically go and stage the house or get it ready before the guest comes. And they just make sure it's all set. We have all of the product and items there that anyone can think of. One of the cool things with Thanksgiving coming up, we do have, for the people who show up for Thanksgiving week, we provide a turkey roasting pan and a thermometer, meat thermometer, and a baster and a turkey bag. And it's all sitting there with extra kitchen towels because we know that this is going to be a busy week for the kitchen. So those are the little touches that we add or we think of or try to think of before the guests stay. Then hopefully when they stay with us, they can tell our linen program, which we do in all of our homes, very high-end linens that also come from Inhaven. So we have those in all of our homes right now. Our amenities and consumables, we actually get a lot of feedback on that. So we provide garbage bags and foil and Ziploc baggies and a lot of the hand soaps by all of your sinks, things that quite often when you go into a place, maybe they have one little bar of soap in the bathroom, but they don't have any soap out by the kitchen for you to wash your hands. You pull in and each of our homes, each of our kitchens has the hand soap. They have the Mrs. Meyer's hand soap, the Mrs. Meyer's kitchen cleaning spray, so it's really high-end product that we provide and people notice it, that it's different than most VRBO or Airbnbs that they stay in because they
Right.
don't
No,
have to
that
provide
makes
these.
that makes a ton of sense. Let me hop back to your linens just out of curiosity wise though. So when we say high end linens, I mean, we talking like what does that even mean? Like is it like Egyptian cotton? Like what do you put on there?
I don't know. I don't know. I just ordered them, but I know they're Garnier, but I don't know the count or the thread count.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't
But I
know.
mean, they're higher end because it's one of those where like that's actually one of our issues at Camino is like we have high end because we do a lot of our linens on site. We don't have we
Yeah.
don't have a laundromat. We don't have a laundry service in that part of Idaho, unfortunately.
Do you guys use all the same linens in all your homes? Is it a linen
We
program?
try to shoot for consistency's sake. We do have some homeowners that really they insist on using higher quality linens. But it becomes problematic, right? Because linens get
Yep,
soiled,
totally.
linens go away,
We have a
linens get
few.
thrown in the garbage.
Yeah, we try to. It's the most that we try to, but we try, and we're almost there, but not there. I can tell you our
Gotcha.
biggest opportunity right now for us is pillows. Because if you have these high-end linens, but you don't have a great pillow to go with it, it pulls your linen program down. So that's what our team is actively working on right now before the winter season is we're going through and we're checking to make sure there's mattress pads, we're making sure there's pillow protectors, we're making sure there's really nice pillows, checking the mattresses. So that's part of what we're working on right now as part of our kitchen/home inventories that we do this time
Gotcha.
of year.
Gotcha. All right. Interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, the linen piece was just something that stuck in the back of my mind. And I know you had talked about how, spraying the mattress down after you put the cover on. And I think it's just one of those, in my in my experience, is the most likely issue that's going to pop up is problems with linens.
Sure.
And we see it a lot by us because I've got cleaners that are washing the linens and they're putting it on and maybe they don't see a stain. Sheet came out of the dryer, went right on the bed, phone call, snapshots from the guests. I want a refund, because of that scenario. And it's really an interesting concept, I think. But you brought up another thing that I want to take a step back, and you talked about a safety walkthrough. And I know that you guys have, you've worked with Justin Ford. We also took Justin's course as well. Every one of our employees is taking Justin's course. How do you take steps with the safety aspect? Like how often do you go through and do a walkthrough? And I know you also talked about 125 checklists. Like how do all that pair together?
Sure. Part of what we provide each of our owners and each house is 2 times a year we do a preventative maintenance walkthrough. And in the spring, we check about 125 items this last spring. And many of those were safety related. Whether it's the fire extinguisher, making sure it's the right size and the right location, the making sure that the dryer vents are cleaned out, pulled out and cleaned out, making sure the refrigerator coils, we pull out the refrigerators, clean off all the coils, check the smoke detectors, making sure they're not getting old, because that's something that could so easily happen in one of our homes that you check changing the batteries, but you don't think to physically look and say, okay, is this smoke detector 5 years or newer, is what we use as our guide. So same thing, carbon monoxide detectors, quite often they're plug-in ones. And so people will move them because if they don't like the little light in the room or they're sensitive to that, depending on which one is in the house, we go through, make sure that they're in all the bedrooms. So we definitely have a very extensive property management checklist that is number one, just for the pure maintenance and protection of your home and caring for your asset as an owner. But then also quite a few of those are specifically related to safety, the items that come from Justin. We bring Justin in pretty much every year. For the last 4 years, we brought him in to train our team that he will walk through our homes and he will say, okay, this is a problem. This is where you can do better. This last time we actually did really great. From the 4 years ago till now, we have made so much progress on our safety. It is phenomenal. But it's such an important factor for us. As Justin will say to you, it's the ultimate trust. That when the
Right.
guest shows up, they ultimately trust that we have checked that home and made sure that it's safe for them. And we really live by that. We really try to honor every single piece of that. So that's our spring assessment. In the fall, it's only like a 30 checkpoint on Breezeway that we check. Again, 5 or 6 of those things are safety related, just to make sure we're really ready for the winter. Smoke detectors, CO detectors, fire extinguishers are a must. But then the team is checking batteries, making sure that all the door codes, work, making sure the batteries work and all the TVs. There's nothing more frustrating than if you're a guest and you go to use the TV and the batteries aren't working. So we really try to make sure that we can be very, very proactive. And if you were to ask me what sets us apart from our competition, it's how proactive we are with getting the house ready, with getting the guest expectations and everything set up for their stay. So the very proactiveness of everything we do is the foundation of what sets us apart.
Made it. That makes sense. That makes sense. So interestingly, I didn't ask this question, kind of going all over the place, but one of the things about operations is obviously, you work with a lot of team members, you work with a lot of staff, a lot of different walks of life, regardless, right? And a lot of different skill sets. So when I think of some of the questions around just staffing, what are some of the traits you look for when you're going and hiring? I mean, it's tough, right? You're in some very unique locations and cleaners, maintenance teams, QCs, like trying to find somebody who A has a place to live there and then B like, trying to get them consistently. How do you go about that? It seems like 200 properties, that's a lot of people.
It is. We have about 80 full-time people right now, year-round, 80 full-time. And then in the winter, I think we add about another 80 to that to get us through the winter. We start early. We've tried that, and that has become successful for us to try to secure people early in the process. Housing, we've had to think outside the box. When we rolled out our shuttle program in Breckenridge the first year, we weren't a known commodity down there. We were new to the area. Shuttles were new to that area, or at least our shuttles were. So we could find people, but they didn't have housing. So we ended up just actually going and renting our own house and then subletting it out to our shuttle drivers
Staff.
so that we could roll out, yep, to our staff, so that we could actually roll out the shuttle program And it gave them an opportunity to then search around and find their own housing after the season. And many of them are still with us now and in their own housing. So we only had to do that 1 year just to kind of get us started. We have a employee referral program, which has been amazing. So obviously, we want our staff who are happy to refer their families and friends to us. And that has been very, very successful for us. We've had challenges, like you say, certain departments, housekeeping in particular can be very challenging. And people have, they can't afford to necessarily live right in these ski resort towns. So they
Right.
live an hour away and commute in, which has worked for us in many markets. But we've also proven, like in housekeeping, sometimes it's better for us just to outsource it. You know that. So we only have internal housekeeping in Steamboat. Breckenridge and Vail Beaver Creek have all third-party housekeepers is what we
Got
do
it.
there. Shuttle drivers, it's super exciting. We're hiring right now for this season, and we have so many people returning because they love to work for us and they're just super happy with that position. So I think out of the 10 we just hired on Breckenridge, they told me 8 are returners out of the 10 that they were
Wow.
trying to hire right now.
Okay.
So that's exciting. But yeah, it is a challenge,
Interesting.
staffing for us all the way around because like you said, you have to have the right you first have to have housing, you have a place to live, but then you have to have the skill set for hospitality. You know that because everybody in our company, we want them to be able to interact with our guests and with our vendors and with our owners. And we want everyone comfortable with that. And some people, it's just not their comfort zone to have to
Yes. That's a
have.
fact. It's like customer service. Not everybody's not everybody's cut out for the customer service world. And it's just an interesting mix. And of course, being in the Northern Rockies, we share a lot of commonalities with we don't have the population that you do as well. But yeah, it's definitely interesting because they our cleaners have to travel in from an hour and a half away.
Wow,
Snowstorms aren't forgiving.
exactly.
And traffic jams coming into Yellowstone, sometimes they just don't they can't help it if they can't get to a house on time. So yeah, it's definitely something that we try to manage through as well. I think it's kind of interesting, but when we talk about the cornerstones of culture, like you just referred to, like everybody needs to have this hospitality aspect. But what are the daily values? Do you have any like mantras that you work with your staff on?
Hear that somebody on the shuttle says, "Hey, I couldn't find the broom in our unit, our house. Did you find?" if they're staying with family in different houses, our shuttle driver will drive to Walmart, go buy a broom, and have it there when they get done with their day of skiing. So we empower our staff to listen to that and then share with us too. Like if somebody got hurt skiing, we will try to make sure that we deliver soup and cookies and magazines or something if they're laid up. And so we try to go that extra step. Also, our core values that we live by, our team, we talk about them often, at a minimum monthly, if not weekly, we talk about our core values, which includes, every challenge is an opportunity, delivering wow whenever possible. That goes to the exceed their expectation if they're in house, really do what you can to wow them. And we also are very, very realistic. We understand mistakes are inevitable, but dissatisfied customers are not. So if we've made a mistake or if something comes up, we try to fix it, to make sure the customer's still happy. And then it's the little things that mean so much. I think that a lot of our staff would tell you that though that's what makes the difference too. It's the little things that we do compared to our competition that sets us apart.
Yeah. No, and that makes a ton of sense. As I'm just thinking, I have so many questions that are just kind of like flipping through my head as I'm trying to translate what you're saying over to Cabino and just like how we would operate. There's a lot of really good takeaways there. I think that it's really important. Sometimes when you're in a smaller company, because obviously we're not a 200 property company, we're a 65 property company. And balancing out that concept of culture and team. If I had to ask, it's a good question. If I had to ask any one of my teammates, hey, what's the one thing?
Yeah.
I challenge myself to go, would they answer the same? So that's a takeaway for me from this conversation is just to go, I think I need to sit down with the team and just say, what really is driving us? And how does everybody see that? That's a great takeaway. And I can
It
only
is.
imagine you had said it before, and I was salivating when you were saying like, oh, we got like 15 properties in the pipeline right now. I can only imagine that this is what drives the incoming properties. I mean, are they referral based? Like, how are you pulling that much of a pipeline in every year?
Sure. I think our reputation, and that our owners will actually share with their friends and their neighbors how much they enjoy working with us and how much we take care of their assets. We are second to none when it comes to property care. We just really treat each of these homes as if they're ours. And so many times the owners will come in and say, "We cannot believe you even have rented our house because it either looks just as good or if not better than when we left the last time we were here." And the other piece is our shuttles. That's our biggest piece of marketing, I would say, locally, is owners will be like, "Hey, I want to be able to ride the shuttle to go skiing and not have to deal with going and parking."
Parking.
In ski
Yeah.
resorts how challenging parking
Yes.
is.
Steamboat is definitely a challenge. It's an easy way of saying it.
All of our markets have it's not easy to go and park, and it's just not convenient, right? So you want to be able to put on your ski gear, put on your boots, have the shuttle pull up. You can put your skis on the side. They drop you off right at the base of the mountain. You get to ski. Then you turn around and let's just say that grandma and grandpa want to come for lunch. They can come for lunch. You and your son have left at 8 o'clock in the morning because you want to be there for the first chair, and then grandma and grandpa come at noon, and then let's say your son wants to leave at 1 o'clock, but you want to stay till 3 o'clock for the mountain to close. Our shuttle will take you back and forth as many times as you want to go. So it actually really gives you more ski time.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, it's funny because the shuttle, I mean, I've been to Steamboat for those listeners who maybe have heard this or not. So Lisa and I talked about it. My daughter's a ski racer, and I've been to Steamboat many, many times. I love Steamboat. It's a great mountain. I really enjoy the time. But yeah, you're right. I mean, parking is unique. It's actually not as bad as Beaver Creek for sure. It's not as bad as some of the others, but you have to park a good half mile away in the lots, and then you have to take a tram to get there or take the steamboat shuttles. And so whenever we stayed in properties, you're right. Like it really is a huge inconvenience. But man, to have those shuttles there really does make a difference. That's interesting.
And our shuttle drivers will take people if they want to go to the grocery store, if they want to run to Walmart, if the family wants to, after a day of skiing, go home, shower, and then run down and go to dinner. It's so nice because you can have a drink or two, and then you're going to get a safe ride home. And there's no stress. So many of our guests don't even bring a car, and it's great from that standpoint.
So you guys have a shuttle that goes out to the airport and picks them up?
No, we line up transportation to and from the
Got it.
airport for them. That's part of the concierge service is we partner with some of the local, airport shuttles in town. But we do, once you get to your home, we take it from there, that our shuttles are available pretty much 8 in the morning. And if you need something, I know that our shuttle drivers have come in early to help people if they know about it. I know they've stayed late, but we go till 10 o'clock or later, depending
Wow.
on
Interesting.
people's
I'm
needs.
trying to like translate that to Island Park, and I'm like, I don't think I could pull that one off. Island Park is like from top to bottom is like 25 miles long. So it's like,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's the
we have a
beauty of
very
steam.
unique area.
Yeah. Steamboat is very
Interesting.
condensed, which is nice, but we feel more of the shuttle pain, especially in Breckenridge, because they're more spread out. Our homes are just, they cover a bigger geographical area, but we still provide the same service. And what's really nice is it's a quick visual and it's so handy. We just use an app called Downtowner, and the guest downloads the app. It's one of the things that when our staff does the walkthrough, they'll step you through. If you don't know how to do that, we'll get it downloaded for you on your phone, and then it's just super simple. You plug in your location and the app is so super smart. It'll say, "Hey, your driver will be there in 10 minutes." But the biggest thing is you have to watch it because let's just say another driver frees up. It might go from 10 or 12 minutes down to the driver's 3 minutes away.
Right.
So it usually gives you worst case scenario of time, and then it's either that time or quicker
Got
that
it.
someone will
So
be
it's
there.
essentially it's like an Uber app just for
Exactly.
your own. Got it. And that's
Yep.
not your app. That's an app that you guys use third party.
Third party app. Yep. But
Wow.
it works great. We've had really good luck with it.
That is interesting. Yeah, because we're on that. I'm not going to say we're on the fence because we're already made the decision to move towards some concierge services. I'm like picking your brain on some of the things that's like, "Oh, man,
Sure.
that shuttle sounds like a great idea, but yeah, I don't know how we're going to pull that one off."
You have to commit.
Yes,
You have to
you
commit, but it's
definitely
a game
do.
changer. Yep.
You definitely do. So, here's one of the things that I when I think of staffing wise, so you guys have quite a few staff and it sounds like you offer certain benefits to them. I don't know what they are, but it refers back to an education benefit and a lifestyle benefit. Maybe
Yeah.
explain a little bit about what it is you're using from a benefits perspective to keep these staff.
Sure. We've for the last couple years we've had a recreation, if you would call it. Now we're changing it and calling it lifestyle benefit bonus. It used to be $500, and now this year it's going to be 750 per employee. And now that we've changed it to lifestyle, it doesn't have to be anything active. It can be a gym membership, it can be a new bike, it can be new skis, it can be your ski pass. It can be, because it's lifestyle now. It can be anything from guitar lessons to piano lessons to, do you want to take cooking classes? Do you want to take um, anything to make improve yourself, actually. And it actually now includes childcare and elder care as part of that 750 that you can use it for as well too, as part of your lifestyle. So it's a fantastic benefit that Staterra has now just offered to all of our staff, and our people are loving it. Our staff are very, very excited about that.
Awesome. Well, now that you brought up State Terra, I'll just kind of throw it out there. Maybe if you're willing, share with us a little bit more about how Moving Mountains has changed a bit. We talked about it last week. Maybe share a little bit about the future of Moving Mountains and how State Terra fits into the mix.
Sure. Yeah. So Robin and Heather Cragen, the founders of Moving Mountains, basically started with one home built in Steamboat, and it was where Moving Mountains all started. Now has grown us up to 200 homes. And so recently we took on a new partner in Staterra. And so we work with them in all of our markets. They basically are our equity partner with us now. Robin is still our acting CEO, which is fantastic. Heather is still at the moment very strongly involved with our accounting side with us. And we still have the exact same leadership team that we had before. So now we just have the benefit with Staterra because they also have Prime down in Florida and two other companies that now we're going to take advantage of basically having more growth. So I can tell you, like, for example, our benefits just got rolled out this last week. They're much better and many more opportunities because now instead of just, having benefits for 80 people, I believe we're about 500 people total. We're able to take advantage of that. Same thing with our Breezeway accounts or track accounts, all of those. Hopefully now that, there'll be some cost savings for us because now there's going to be more of us using it as a bigger entity. So yeah, so it's an exciting start, that's for sure. Super thrilled with Robin still being our acting CEO. So really, if you were to ask me from a leadership standpoint right now, nothing has really changed but our benefits,
Gotcha.
and all for the better. So I think it's going to be a really great partnership that we're excited with the start so far, and hopefully it's all going to be great going forward. And but we still have our Moving Mountains brand. Nothing has changed from the service we provide, how we work with our guests, how we work with our owners, how we work with our staff. Nothing has changed from that standpoint. So hopefully just some things get better. We're already great. Now maybe just even get a little better than that. So
Well,
be
that's
good.
good. No, and I think that's a great attitude to have about it. I think a lot of people get shaken, when companies merge and they come back through. And, obviously there's nefarious actors in every walk of life. But
Sure.
when you run into a situation where you get a really strong partnership, that brings two companies together, it really is, as corny as it sounds, a little bit magical because you're just like, oh my God, I had fear, and now all of a sudden fear's gone and it's replaced with benefit. And I think that's great that that's working out for you guys as well as it has. Um,
Yeah, it's been good.
so
It's
one
been
last question for you though. I do have one last question for you because I told you I wasn't going to take up too much of your time, and you've been more than gracious in listening to me chatter on. So between all of the mountains that you guys operate in, work in, who's got the best skiing?
Wow, the best skiing. That's a tough question. All of them are exceptional, right? So you can go to have an exceptional vacation in an exceptional home if you stay with us. But all of them have, their different strengths, if you would. Steamboat definitely for the families. It's ranked one of the top nation family ski resorts
I agree.
around, and of course everybody loves Vail.
Yes.
So Vail can stand on its own, and Breckenridge always stays open the longest. So it's really nice. So we have this nice little blend of diversity, even within our own little portfolio of ski resorts and ski towns.
Nice.
But
That
yeah,
could be the
great
most
question.
politically correct answer I've ever asked anybody.
So
I love it. No, that's good.
good. If you ask me, I'm from the Steamboat area, so I'm partial to Steamboat. So, but it's just
Yeah,
great drive.
the area has a lot to offer too. I mean, again, Breckenridge, beautiful, Vail, beautiful. From a culture wise, it's unique. But when I look at Steamboat, like I lived in Jackson, so it's like Jackson Hole and Steamboat have a lot in common. Very Western culture. But yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Steamboat. I've had nothing but great times there. I haven't had a bad time at Steamboat. That's what I was waiting to hear. Steamboat's the best, but
Yeah. No,
that was
it's
good. You handled it well.
yep. Sounds good. That's
Well,
great.
awesome. So we'll wrap it up. I just wanted to again say thank you very much for joining me on the podcast. So many awesome nuggets of information. Maybe before we go, I'll give you the 2 minute. Give me the elevator pitch for Moving Mountains. Like what is the reason that I would go to Moving Mountains over any other place?
Sure. Your stay will be second to none if you stay with us. Between our proactiveness, like I said, in regards to helping the guest get ready, prepared, come, have a nice, smooth, phenomenal experience in an amazing home, second to none when it comes to that. For owners who want to come and join us, nobody else will take care of your home like we do. I mean, there is none of our competition who is as proactive as we are and does the check sheets that we do, and our employees love working for us. So I feel like we really try to create a culture around trust and respect for, amongst our team. And because of that, people love coming to work. So it makes it a great place to go. And it gets a little crazy, during the winter season, as you know. it's um, but we're all in it together, and it's a great challenge, and we love it, and it works. But it's definitely, if you were to come and stay with us, we are so leaps and far bounds above Airbnb and VRBO. It's not even a similar stay to what you would normally rent through someone like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, and I'd encourage people to look at our website because it's a really impressive website too, to take a look at our homes and what we have to offer. A nice variety that you can be, depending on what you're looking for, we have a little bit for everybody.
Awesome. Well, that's great feedback. And for anybody who wasn't paying attention, it's Moving Mountains. So it's www.movingmountains.com. Again, I just want to say thank you, Lisa, for joining me on the
Hey,
podcast.
Jamie.
It's always a pleasure to speak with you. I look forward to our next time that we can connect again. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate it, your time. Have a good day.
You got it.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Welcome y'all to the VRNation Station. We're diving deep into vacation rental sensations. From management tips to the latest creation, join us each week for some sparkle and conversation. VRNation Station, tune in and feel the thrill.